You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
They confuse us with so much life. just come on this way.
Not even thinking that we would realize. And if we criticize, we could be ostracized. We don't know who to trust. That's why I say, Lord, please listen to this prayer that comes from before. Please send us another Moses again. Oh, we just can't go on this way. Please deliver us today. Time to make them oppress us stay. So the children could see their way. Make them get on their knees and pray. Then I'll be up to judgment day. Oh, just can't make it this way. Please deliver us today. Be like the Israelites did it. Please send us another Moses again. Lord, we just can't make it this way. Yes, deliver us today. Oh, we just can't go this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Please listen to what I say. Yes, hurry up with judgment day. We just can't make it this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Must we get old and gray? And the children can't see their way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. We like the Israelites did it. Please send us another Jesus again. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Lord, we just can't go this way. Lord, we just can't make it this way.
Do not categorize the blessing by colors. It is not the colors you need to watch. It is the character. Watch out for the character. I'm going to tell you, there are three basic types of people that you will interact with if you are a child of destiny. Can I share this with you? The first group are confidants. Confidants. You will have very few of them. Confidants are those people in your life who love you unconditionally. They are into you. Whether you're up or down, right or wrong, they are into you. They are in for the long haul. If you get in trouble, they get in trouble with you. They'll come see you in the jailhouse. They'll come get you out of the crack house. They're confidants. You can open up and share anything with them. You'll never inherit your kingdom until you find your confidant. You can't be David till you find your Jonathan. Having a good confidant is the key that unlocks the kingdom, because you were raised outside the gate and God's going to cause you to reach over the wall. You got to have a confidant behind the wall who can mentor you for what God is going to do next in your life. The problem with most people is that everybody they run around with is under them. And so you are forever feeding people who can't feed you. And after years of feeding them, they begin to drain you. You've got to have somebody who can feed you so you can feed somebody else. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Am I talking to anybody in here? You need the confidant then. The confidant is those few people that come along in your life that are for you. They are with you. They are intimately intertwined in your life. They are there to make sure that you reach your destiny. They will confront you. They will get in your face. They will get in your business. They will tell you when you're wrong because they are confidants. If you have 2 or 3 of them in a lifetime, you are a blessed person. Without them, you'll never be who God called you to be. You need to find your confidant. Number 2, the other group are your constituents. They are not into you. They are into what you are for. They are for what you are for. They are your constituents. And as long as you are for what they are for, they will walk with you and work with you and labor with you, but never think that they are for you. They are for what you are for. And you have to know that, because if they meet somebody else that will further their agenda, they will leave you and hook up with them, because they were never for you. They were just for what you were for. They are your constituents. And throughout your life, if you're not careful, particularly if you're broken, you will mistake your constituents for your confidants. And you will think that they are for you when they are really not for you. They are just for what you are for. And by the time you get through falling in love with them, they will break your heart as they hook up with somebody else who is for what you are for, because it was never about you anyway. It was about the causes that you represent. They are for what you are for, but they are not for you. They are your constituents. Can I go deeper with this? The third group are your comrades. These people are not for you, nor are they for what you are for. It is just that they are against what you are against. And the comrades will make strange bedfellows. This will cause people to come together who are not for you, and they are not for what you are for, but they are against what you are against. And they will team up with you to help fight a greater enemy. But don't be confused by their associations. They will only be with you until the victory is accomplished. These people are like scaffolding. They come into your life to fulfill a purpose. And when the purpose is complete, the scaffolding is removed. But don't be upset when they are removed, because the building always remains when the scaffolding is removed. What I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, expect the constituents and the comrades to leave you and desert you after a while. Don't be upset when they don't react to your dream the way you expected them to, because they were never really with you in the first place. Be careful then who you tell your dream to, because if you tell your dream to your constituents, they will desert you and try to fulfill the dream without you. If you tell it to your comrades, they won't support it, because they never were for what you were for anyway. If you find a few people in your entire life with whom you can share your dream with, you are a blessed somebody. I can tell you how to identify people who are really for you. If they are really for you, they will weep with you when you weep, and they will rejoice when you rejoice. When you walk in a room and you tell somebody good news, stop being happy for a minute and watch their reaction. If they're not happy for you, shut your mouth and walk back out of the door. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying to you. Oh yeah, because when they are really connected to you, they will be happy for you when you share your dream. Find somebody, look them in the eye and say, are you happy for me? If you don't get the right reaction, don't tell them anything else. You need somebody who's really going to be happy for you. I don't want just anybody praying for me. I don't want none of them haters praying for me, because you know you hate me and you don't want me to succeed. I want somebody praying for me who really wants me to be blessed, who wants me to be an overcomer, so you can put up your oil and stop speaking in tongues, because you know you never did speak to me anyway, and ain't no need in you coming up here in this hospital like you gonna pray some cancer up off of me. I'd rather have somebody who really loves me lay across the bed and rebuke the devil. And God is so faithful, he'll always give you somebody. Oh, if he ever sent anybody into your life to help you, you ought to just clap your hands and thank him for the people he sent. Don't worry about the people he took. You ought to praise him for the people he sent. Tell somebody, say, somebody help me. I didn't get here by myself. Somebody helped me to get here. Somebody taught me how to stand. Somebody got me behind the gate. Somebody taught me the protocol of the pilot. Somebody encouraged me when I felt like dropping out of school. Somebody helped me when my back was up against the wall. Somebody mentored me when I was going through a divorce. Somebody helped me when I was going through a crisis. God is so faithful that he will never leave himself without a witness. He will send somebody.
I say you get up one morning, your elders have something, you don't know how they get it, but you want to use it. But if you ask them old people to get the things what they went through, ask them this any day, and your parents sure to say, black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're able to get a pulley and jam with the devil. Why? Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're ready to swim offshore and hold your boat steady. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that dragon eye, you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. You get up one morning, and oil money running. How it come you don't know, so that it care how the thing go. But if they read about Uriah, they wanna find out the pressure. How we get so much old hell to get a penny from TLL. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap iron. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that eagle eye, you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. I say we got up one morning, independence happening, getting the thing come easy. Now they're taking liberty, but if they know about petition, we have to send to England for some woman to tell we in this colony free. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. People hold you, humiliate you, turn on and sell you, and then they free you. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that dragon eye, you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man when a black man gets something, he got to start thinking. You get it there easy. You got to practice economy. From getting licks from the slave master to become the land owner, brother, is a terrible journey. Back with plenty brutality. Black man now to keep on jamming. For black man to get a little something, you got to rise up, you got to stand up. Pick up your mind, you will always stay on top. Black man now to keep on jamming. For black man to get a little something, you got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man now to keep on jamming. For black man to get a little something, you got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man now to keep on jamming. For black man to get a little something, make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap iron. Black man now to keep on jamming.
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. So sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. People see you smile, but don't know the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? Lord Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother, cover my sister, them who under pressure. Cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover me. Cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's no other than individuals with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say it here in the village, we originate, we don't imitate. Doesn't matter what color t-shirt you have on a white t-shirt, you have on a burgundy t-shirt, you have on a maroon t-shirt, you have on a salmon t-shirt, a purple t-shirt. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter what planet you're from Mazatanians, Xenaranians, Sonaranians. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And you know how we started.
It have our place, WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, do come with me. We do have DAT on WZYE, Santa Medite.
That is no other than a longtime friend of In the Village with the DAT Triplets, no other than the love doctor, Dr. Rene Mohammed. Yes, that's the one right here in the village, you know. And folks, I'm just so happy to be back with you. You know, I was on a sort of a sabbatical for 2 days there. You could call it a week, you know, but I'm back and full in the flesh, back and live and in the flesh. Let me say a special welcome to 1/3 of the DAT Triplets, you know, no other than my good friend from Sally Bay, who ended up at Palaseco Government Secondary School on his way from Marabella. Some people say Mirabella. Some people say Maribella. What is Mirabella? No other than the young man, the commissioner in Newark, by way of Celibia, which you could also say Sally Bay. No other than Thomas E. Marshall Nisbet Boy. Tommy, welcome.
Good evening, family. It's always a pleasure to be in the village. I'm glad that I have the company of the master villager. So it's going to be a great night. Looking forward to it.
I like that one, the master villager boy. That's a splendiferous compliment, boy.
I tell you.
Oh God. So Tommy, boy, it's been an eventful week, you know, full of a lot of adventures, full of ups and full of downs, you know. But you know, as you're saying, man, every day above dirt is a splendiferous day.
Correct.
You know?
Yep.
You just have to keep it moving, man. You have to keep it moving because, you know, Tommy, it's interesting, eh? You know, for the past 3 weeks, I'll say for the past month, right? It seemed like I don't want to blame. In my estimation, because I know my body, I feel that since I take that shot, Tommy, a lot of different things has happened to me that has never happened to me previously. Never happened to me.
I'm living proof.
People say, well, boy, you know, you're getting a little older. I don't believe in that age thing.
I can attest to what you're saying because I don't know if I ever gave you an explanation as to how many different things has happened since.
Yeah, you kind of give me a little few things here and there, you know. Yeah. But Tommy, the first thing happened to me, right? I used to have difficulties with my groin, right? And I'm a person, I can go to the track and easily run 6, 7, 8 miles. Easy, no problem. And almost for a whole year, Tommy, it was a struggle. Some days I go to the track, Tommy, and when I started back, I could have barely run one lap. I ain't lying to you. And when I started to run a mile, I was running a mile in like 10 minutes. And I just keep persevering, man. Persistence. I kept persistent. And some days after I run a mile, Tommy, I could have barely walk off the track. I had a limp off the track. And I just kept at it, you know. I started to train every other day. Then I had to train one day and take 2 days off. And then I looked on YouTube and I got this exercise. So I started doing this exercise. And that exercise significantly helped me, you know, get back about 80% back to myself, right? And it's been going good. And then about 3 weeks ago, I got a hamstring injury. I never, ever had a hamstring problem. Never. I was training, finished doing an excellent training, and I just felt something in my hamstring. So I say, you know what? Let me take the next 2 days off. I took the next 2 days off and I went back to the track. I was able to run 2 miles. But after I finished running that 2 miles, Tommy, the pain was just unbearable. So I say, you know what? I go take another 2 days off. I take another 2 days off. I went back to the track and as we run about 3 miles this time, the pain come back. And I keep doing that. And then I tell myself, you know what? Let me take 2 weeks off. And I haven't taken 2 weeks off, Tommy. The only time I've taken 2 weeks off is after taking that shot. I took 2 weeks off because of what I went through. So this is the second time in almost a year I'm taking 2 weeks off. So I took 2 weeks off and I went back. And this time I'm only trying to run a mile. I run 1 mile and it come back again. Take 2 days off. But to make a long story short, Tommy, I went and run today. I run a mile. I ain't feel nothing. I feel good today, right? But the test will be when I go back tomorrow. So all that's to say that since I've taken that thing by, it's not in my mind. It's been it has really, really messed with my running. And you know, running to me is like weed, right? I
Yep,
wake up every day and I want to go get my weed. So I go, I go, I go and run. But
I hear
but
you.
but to
My,
me, you know,
my story would take the rest of the night, so I'm not even going to start. But
yeah, you know,
what has
I go ahead.
what has happened is
Mm,
unbelievable since that era.
mm.
Sometimes you don't want to talk about it because you know that it's kind of like a taboo, and you can
Yeah,
get
but
in trouble.
I know, yeah, that's but to me, I have never had those type of difficulties with running. You understand? I never had those difficulties. You know, train hard, do all my workouts, run my miles, do my push-ups, do my sit-ups, do all these things. And I mean, it's been, you know, I mean, after I finish running today, I ain't feel nothing. So tomorrow will be a kind of a day that when I go tomorrow, if I don't feel no pain in my hamstring, then, you know, I might be on my way back. But, you know, I just keep my fingers crossed and just keep going, man. Perseverance. That's it, you know?
Yeah,
But
well,
I,
it's been a journey. It's been a journey since I've had the that that whatever we want to call it, the jab, whatever stuff.
yeah.
In
You
the
know,
train.
and the thing about it, Tommy, I never took that booster. I never take that booster. After I take the two and I see what was going on with me, I say, you know what, man, not me, boy. I never went and take. I never took that booster. Never.
I never boosted
I
either.
couldn't, man. It's just, yeah. It just. I mean, and you know, it's funny, Tommy. In our practice last this week going here, right? One of the young ladies collapsed, man.
Hmm.
She collapsed. They took her
Last
to the hospital, Tommy. She was running and she just collapsed. They took her
that's
to the hospital and they couldn't find nothing.
a lot of things are going on, man. Last Monday we had to bury a 45-year-old first cousin of mine. She collapsed, got a heart attack, blood clot. Listen, man, there's so much happening. A lot of people ain't talking.
Yeah, and the young lady is like 17, 18, man, in good condition, everything. She just collapsed. And they took her to the only thing they could say she was dehydrated.
Hmm.
You understand? And it's just unbelievable. You know, so I mean, I don't know, boy. I don't know. You know, I mean, and like that thing once it get in your system, it's in your system, boy.
I tell you, but both of my children in New Jersey didn't take it at all. As a matter of fact, the second one is a school teacher. When she was when during that period, she had to be tested every single week, and she didn't mind testing every week for doing a COVID test every week, but she
Mm.
didn't take it at all. Neither of them took it.
Boy,
What?
I went from being able to do, and I used to go for 8 mile runs, man, easy, no problem. 8 mile runs, Tommy. And then
Yep.
I mean, for me, going on an 8 mile run like in about, you know, 56 minutes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, and I used to feel good, and this was no flat. This was going up to the reservation and coming back. And you know, ever since, man, it's been a struggle. But you know, Tommy, in spite of all of that, in spite of all of that, I'll be honest with you. Every day I could go to the track and run just one lap, I'm happy.
Praise God.
If I could just run just one lap, Tommy, I don't care. One lap, I am happy. As a matter of fact, every day that I wake up and I put my foot on the ground and I step off the bed, that's a good day for me. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So,
Amen.
in spite of all of that, I give thanks all the time, man, for just being able to have the health, strength, and energy to be able to go out and do it. And you know, yeah, sometimes you have to put things in perspective.
Yep.
And but life have to go on. I mean, and I hear they're coming back with some other thing. They're coming back with soon. You know what I mean? COVID part 2, I think.
Wow.
You know,
COVID
so
rebooted.
yeah, COVID rebooted. Yeah, there we go. COVID rebooted.
Wow.
You know, this time, boy, Tommy, boy, I really and truly, boy. I don't know if I want to go through that. If that come back again, huh? I gotta do some natural. Now, and,
Yeah.
and 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 during that time, I added some, you know, vitamins to my repertoire too as well. That I think had an impact too, because my daughter had COVID, my son had COVID. You know, so but
Did
anyway,
they,
Tommy,
did they get the job?
yeah, they did both
Mhm.
of them,
Anyway,
and I think they get boosted too. You know,
yep.
so it's just unbelievable, unbelievable. But
Yeah.
we gotta wait and see what's next. So of
Mm.
course tonight, first in the village was, of course,
Nadia.
Nadia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nadia, good night. Good night to you, Nadia. Yeah. Nadia says good night. Anselm, I got some blue emojis. What's the story with Nadia though? I find she kind of ration them emojis though.
Hey, we gotta
You
be
find so?
thankful. We gotta be thankful for everything we get.
Oh, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Nadia, thank you very much. Thank you, Nadia. All of a sudden, Nadia, thank you, Nadia. Oh, Diana won't be joining us tonight because she's at it's a family thing, Tommy.
Yeah, some family event.
Yeah, she's at a family event. Yeah. So Nadia says good night, Tommy. Yeah, Tommy gets some blue emojis.
Good night, Nadia.
Oh wait, now I kind of looked incorrectly there. Let me apologize to Nadia. It's two lines. Oh, yeah, but I want my wrong glasses, but sometimes I don't see straight. I
All
don't
right.
take off. I don't take off is like if I want some red sunglasses, but you know I can see clearly now the rain has come. I can see all obstacles in my way. Oh, it's two lines Nadia gave me, and I said because I just saw Tommy, I get two lines and you get two lines. Nadia, I humbly apologize. Yeah, the screen only showing one, but in the chat it's showing them all. Yeah, yeah. Nadia
Yeah.
says Diana Benskin, good night. She says to Keisha, Judy Rose, Lana, Capiza. I thought I see Lana was in the other night. I think so, Rennie,
Hmm.
Albert, Ken, John, Vonnie. Yeah. Nadia say good night, everyone. Blessings. Yeah, Nadia say, and let me run away, boy. No, Nadia, carry on. Oh, you gonna run away from the village. Oh, you gonna run away from the village.
Especially
She
since
said,
you're having problems running.
you ain't lying. Having real problems, having problems running, boy. When a car run, a car go and get me a running weed. All you know it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah. Curtis Montreal, welcome.
Good night, Big Curtis.
Mm. Yeah, Nadia said, Tommy, laugh out loud.
No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt.
Um, Captain Interline, Walls, what is African survival? Oh, oh, you know what you're talking about, Tommy?
No.
All right, let me show you what you're talking about. I don't know. Capiza, welcome. Arjun is either he's captain or he's Capiza or
Capitan.
Capitan, yeah, is five different names that fella have. That he
So,
made a Caroni.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, the man have 105 acres in Caroni. You
wow.
know that? A
Wow.
hundred. This is what you're talking about.
Let's
This
see
is
what
what
he
you're talking about here. Let me move that comment there. PM welcome moves to include African survival in the curriculum.
Okay.
So Pisa asks a good question. What is African survival?
Mm,
Tommy?
wow. I haven't thought of it, but I'd want to think it's what it probably is just what it says.
What is that?
African survival. African survives.
Survival of Africans?
That's that's what it seems to mean literally. But we already survived the slave trade.
Hmm.
I don't know what. Hmm. We need to
So,
know what context this is being used in.
so here it is. Bonnie Roberts, good night. My question to the panel. What is your question? Richard Ram, hi all, good night. We're going outside. Hold on, Let me see something. All right, so here it is. It's an article in The Guardian. Prime Minister welcome moves to Ministry of Education to ensure African survival included in the curriculum. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has welcomed the move by the Ministry of Education to join hands with the Americans' national community to ensure the story of African survival and resilience is included in the school curriculum. Applauding the initiative as he delivered the feature address of the American, hold on, I have this on my phone.
Well, the Americans are the ones who winded up in the companies in Maruga. They fought in the war and were rewarded by not being sent back to a life of slavery.
Right.
They were given these particular areas of Trinidad to set up shop.
Right. So, applauding the initiative as he delivered the feature address at the American National Community Award and recognition ceremony at the Southern Academy of the Performing Arts. The phone doing some things here. On Thursday, he said it was noteworthy story which should be known by every citizen. Advocating for it to be told truthfully and not whitewashed, the Prime Minister said it was an example of African resistance. All right. This thing on my phone gave me trouble. Let me try about. Let me try this here on not on my phone, but let me try WhatsApp in order to read this thing here. Hold on, let me go here. Trying to bring this up so we could read it. So as Capiza raised that point there, I figure let me read the story on it's in my WhatsApp account.
But the truth be told, we have survived and we continue to survive, but we have to go beyond survival. We have to strive.
I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So I brought it up via WhatsApp. Okay, so he says advocating for it to be told truthfully and not whitewashed. The Prime Minister is an example of African resistance, decisiveness, strength, courage, pride in the identity, and empowerment in the face of colonialism, oppression, and systematic dehumanization. August 20 marked the 207th anniversary of the arrival of a group of freed African American slaves from various parts of the Atlantic coast of the United States to TNT. Those arose from an agreement and proclamation made between the British Crown and an elite squadron of runaway slaves on April 2nd, 1814. These soldiers, known as the Americans, arrived in Trinidad on August 20, 1816 as freemen. Although African slavery was still in existence. Personally declaring the story of the Americans to be a monumental saga of a strong people, Rowley said, over the past 200 years, they have evolved into a dedicated and distinguished citizen who had blended into TNT national fabric. During his brief address, he added, your country is inspired by your resilience, your sense of family, your embrace and respect for your ancestry. Praising the surviving heirs of the Americans, the Prime Minister acknowledged the continued celebration of their past rather than letting themselves be consumed by some sad experience. He encouraged them to continue to be proud, inspire the coming generation, and in so doing, continue to be one of the jewels of that star-studded crown, the story of which is the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Among those who attended the ceremony were Education Minister Dr. Nayan Gatsby Dolly, Trade Minister Paulie Gopiskun, and Youth Development and National Service Minister Foster Cummins. I think that headline is very misleading.
Mm-hmm. Who wrote that story?
Anna Lisa Paul, senior reporter of The Guardian.
Okay.
I mean, if it's African survival, it's all part of whoever is African. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the American story is a very interesting one.
Very interesting story.
And noble too, huh? Because they fought in the war.
And that story should be told. To me,
Yeah.
that story should be told. Because a lot of us don't know about the Americans. A lot of people don't know about the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So Kupiza, you start off good tonight. But
the headline could be a bit misleading.
Yeah, it could be a bit misleading. So here's Kupiza being himself, right? What about Indian survival? That's Kupiza.
Yep, well, it is what it is. They survived too.
Oh
As
God.
a matter of fact,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, they went beyond survival. They strived.
Yeah, but Tommy, if you had Americans, right? You're in a situation there, you have to be appropriate, right?
Right.
If you go to a situation where you have Indians, you talk about things appropriate to that situation. You ain't go there and talk about African survival. So
True.
anyhow, I like Captain though. Captain's very consistent with his behavior. Vonnie says, my question to the panel. Richard Ramroop, hello. Nadia says, I'm not seeing all those people names. My phone giving trouble still. Yeah, all these people here. Vonnie wants to know, do you think that the LE local election is fair, and your opinion on the ABC? Well, Vonnie, we go get to that. But Vonnie, he also asks, do you think the ABC is aligned to the government? What's your opinion? All right. We go get that. We go get to that after the break. Because you see, Vonnie, you have to look at that from two perspectives. You have to look at that when the UNC is in power, right? Somehow the PNM people go feel the UNC is aligned to the EBC. Right? When the PNM in power, the UNC people go believe the EBC is aligned to the PNM. Right? That's the way how I see it. Right? Tommy, what do you think?
I think that in this society, people don't have any trust in each other. They trust each other very little. And it is even worse when it comes to the divide, the political divide.
Yeah, but you know what I say, Tommy? This is what I say. But all the laws the UNC had, if there was any corruption in the EBC, right, they'd have been dragged to court already and dragged to the Privy Council. So funny, we could jump high, jump low. We could, what's the other one they could say? You could jump high, jump low. You know, I'm trying to say all kind of other thing. You could go sideways, you could go backwards. You could think the sky green. You could think, a green donkey could fly. You could think whatever you want. At the end of the day, you have to bring facts to the table in order to prove your point. And so far, the there's been no evidence that the EBC is corrupted. I'm not talking about taking pictures and saying a woman walking on good with a ballot box, right? I mean, all that kind of stuff. But I don't see any evidence, right? At least there's no evidence in the public domain that the EBC is corrupted, right? Plain talk, bad manners. So funny, until we have some evidence, which we don't have so far, right? All we have are maybe allegations and innuendos and rumors, right? But no facts to back up the statement that the EBC is aligned to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not saying they're not, you know. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that there's no evidence to prove that. So what we're going to do, we're going to go for a short station identification. And when we come back, we're going to continue, right? It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Victoria, let me say good night to you, Victoria. Victoria says good night all. Hope all is well these days. The weather is hot, although it's rainy season. It feels as though you're in Arizona. Oh, God. Well, listen, it's better to be in Arizona than
Alaska.
Colorado. Alaska, yeah, Alaska. That's a good one, too. Better to be in Arizona. But Tommy, you see me in Arizona, boy? My sister-in-law used to live in Arizona, and then you start to check under the car with, you know, like when you're checking for bombs and things, they had to go and check with that kind of mirror thing, like to see if there any snake coil up under the car, you know?
Wow.
Serious, because snake used to go through the muffler and come through the engine and all kind of thing, and next it's inside the car, you know?
Whoa.
Yeah, Tommy boy, I don't know if I could deal with that. I don't know if I could deal with that. So, folks, stick and stay. We'll be right back. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. It's just Tommy and Ansem tonight with you in the village on WZYE 95.9 FM.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Night and day are catching hell. People think are doing well. Just because I sing a calypso. But that is my misery. Calypso don't make money, but most of them don't know that I have my axe to grind, just like any other man, existing in poverty and this giant ghetto lamb. But I intend to hang on. Tell them for me no dice. I ain't gonna eat lice. I ain't gonna grow old, sitting in the cold, not me. No way, they gon' have to beat me. They gon' have to eat me, or the heads go roll. Tell them I say I was born in this land, I go die in this land. Nobody go run me from where me come from. Nobody go run me, lad. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Me woman must yam. Me papa must yam. Me woman must yam. Me picky must yam. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me, lad. Nobody go run me. Life ain't much for us to choose. Some we win and some we lose. But sometimes life is so confusing. I had a lot of friends one time whom I used to wine and dine and gave them bread when they need it. Now most of them against me, take me, make the enemy me, simply because I am not what they all want me to be. And with the political views I can't agree, but tell them for me no dice. I ain't gonna eat lice, I ain't gonna grow old, sitting in the cold, not me LG. No way, they gonna have to beat me, they gonna have to eat me, or the heads go roll. Tell them I say I was born in this land, I go die in this land. Nobody go run me from where me come from. Nobody go run me. Nobody go round me. Nobody go round me. Nobody go round me. Me mama must yam. Me papa must yam. Me woman must yam. Me picnic must yam. Nobody go round me. Nobody go round me. Let's go! Well, days I at CBC, work at Halcyon, when the wet man crop no money. Because the vital rights, giving the assurance, jam belongs to me. But I hear some people hide in our society. They don't like my calypso because they can't control me. So they plan to kick out my ass. Tell them, papi, no dice. I ain't gonna eat lice. I ain't gonna blow hole. Sitting in the cold, not me shorty. No way. All you have to beat me. All you have to bury me. More than 6 feet and more. Tell them I say I was born in this land, I will die in this land. Nobody go run me from where me come from. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Me mama must yam. Me papa must yam. Me woman must yam. Me picnic must yam. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Election come and gone, some of them treat me with scorn, others put the whole point against me. Tell them I don't give a damn, I am going to sing my song exactly as I see it. Whoever wants to make me a political enemy, who feel that they're playing God and could wreck the life for me, tell them I ain't running away. Tell them for me no dice. I ain't gonna eat lice. I ain't gonna grow old. Sitting in the cold, not me shorty. No way. All you have to beat me. All you have to bury me. More than 6 feet and more. Tell them I say I was born in this land. I'm gonna die in this land. Nobody go run me from where me come from. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me, lad. Nobody go run me. Me mama must yam. Me papa must yam. Me woman must yam. Me papa must yam. Lad, nobody go run me. Yep. Everybody at the yam.
Yeah, that's a special song for me too, Tommy. Nobody go run me from Trinidad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody go run me, man. Nobody go run me. Yeah, nobody ain't go run me. Your mama was nyam. Your papa was nyam.
Your papa must nyam. Your picnic must nyam.
Everybody must nyam. Everybody.
Everybody had to eat.
So I just received something here that NTA selected an alderman in Diego Martin. And let me see. Let me read it. Paul Nahos to serve as alderman for the NTA in the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. Is that Faris Al-Wari family, Nahos?
I couldn't confirm that. Maybe somebody in the chat could.
So can somebody in the chat confirm if Nahos is somehow Faris Al-Wari family? Faris Al-Wari. So this is Paul Nahos to serve as chairman, alderman for the NT in the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. The National Transformation Alliance is pleased to publicly share that our selection for the alderman position in the Municipal Corporation electoral area of Diego Martin is Mr. Paul Daniel Nahus. Mr. Nahus has an extensive bio, which includes being a doctoral candidate in security management, a master chaplain, Homeland Security, having a Bachelor of Criminal Justice, certified Homeland Security, I-certified anti-terrorism officer, and is recognized by reputable international organizations in a wide cross-section of law enforcement and counter-terrorism studies. Very experienced in the position he's been appointed to, Mr. Nahos also served a full term as a PNM appointed alderman from 2016 to 2019 in the same Diego Martin Corporation, and amongst other duties, he was the chairman for the Disaster Environment and Security Committee during his tenure as alderman. On the governance team of the NTA, Paul exemplifies all that persons representing the party stands for, hardworking and patriotic. The public can be assured that he and the rest of the NTA family will continue to meet the NTA's mandate of service to the people. Tim Timo, NTA General Secretary.
So what made him eligible for that position? The NTA, did they win any?
Yeah, based on the amount of votes they get, they was able to get one alderman in the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. In that area, based on the amount of votes. You know, so I mean, sometimes you don't have to win a seat, but depends on the number of votes, you know, they'll be allocated an alderman. And based on the number of votes they get, they were able to achieve getting one alderman. I mean, that's a big achievement.
Is that as a result of the reform, the local government reform?
That's a good question, Tommy. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. But that will only be, Tommy, if they have redraw the lines or something.
Or maybe
You know?
they made it a rule that if you get X amount of votes and you didn't get a seat or whatever.
But that was always part of it. That was always part of it.
All right.
Yeah, if you get a certain amount, a percentage, you know, and you remember, some people lose your deposit to it, like all the PEP people lost their deposits, right? Because I think it was based on getting a number of votes.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah, a minimum. And if you don't get that minimum, like, you know, all the PDP people lost their votes. And I want to get to, as we say, PDP, I want to get to Watson Duke, you know, because I have something I want to get to with respect to Watson Duke. So let me go down here. Victoria says, so we answer Vonnie Roberts' question. And Tommy, I don't know if you wanted to add anything like that. I mean, everything in Trinidad is political. You know, if it's not anti-PNM, it's pro-PNM. If it's not anti-UNC, it's pro-UNC. So everything is par for the course. Capiza wants to know why no African can act as PM when Rowley outside. Okay. I mean, that's a personal preference. Prasad Ramnath, good night to you. So Prasad says, it's true, since I took the vaccine, was never myself again. That's what he says.
True.
You know, I could say that. I could actually confirm the same, Prasad, with myself. Yeah, I could confirm the same. You know. So Vonnie Roberts said, do you agree with the opposition UNC requesting observers for the past local election? I agree with that.
Yep.
I mean, I think anytime you have 2, 3, and 4 eyes, extra eyes, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I read that's a good thing. Capiza says, Walls, you read anything by Michael Anthony? I don't. Who's Michael Anthony? I don't know who that is.
Didn't he pass away recently?
Is that the one where Dr. Rowdy was sending his condolences?
Yeah, he
I saw something about somebody who passed away.
Yeah, he died recently. Let me see what I can find.
All right, yeah. So Richard Ramroop says, my opinion is the people who vote for PNM, they get no brain. They trip it too bad. They believe in race, and all the time they look around, see what the PNM done for you. But Richard, you know, that's both sides of the coin, though. That's not just the PNM. You know, because, I mean, and let me give you an example why, Richard. We don't just like to throw things around. We have our statistics here. Let me put it up on the screen. Watch the statistics here, right? You know, we like to deal with facts here, right? In the 2020 election, 61% Afro-Trinidadian voted for the PNM. 7.3% of Indo-Trinidadian voted for the PNM. For the UNC, 5.7% Afro-Trinidadian voted for the UNC, and 54.7% voted for the UNC. So, we can't make that statement because it's not factually correct. Most Indians vote for the UNC, and most Afro-Trinidadians vote for the PNM. That's just the facts.
Okay,
Right?
Michael Anthony is a Tobagonian writer. Michael Anthony HBM was a Trinidadian author and historian who was named by CNC3 as one of the 50 most influential people in Trinidad and Tobago. He died on August 24th this year, which is a couple of days ago.
Right.
He was born on February 10th, 1932 in Mayaro. That would make him 91 years old.
What year he was born?
32.
Yeah, 91. Yeah, because my mother is 92.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom is 31. She was born.
Okay. So, Richard, I think when we look at the statistics, your comment is not, your comment is inaccurate. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? I think we have to kind of stop, because listen, we know what is in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a racial divide between the two parties. And that's just a fact. Kapiza say you could do this, you can drink, you can jump high, you can jump low, pause I go lick down. Okay, whoever that is. Kapiza say Fort, what's that? Huachua, and I never see a rattlesnake. Well, you're very fortunate. You're very fortunate. Trinidad Margo, welcome. Yeah, Mean Gene, welcome. There's literally jail for number 45 for allegations of election fraud. The other fella going to jail. I think I have something here. Let me see if I have something here on that. JB Apple, welcome. Yeah. Victoria, want to know what job Kusat talking about? I actually took the what's that one I took again, boy? How many was the different ones again?
Moderna, Pfizer.
Moderna. I took Moderna. Akira, welcome. Bonnie said the election boundaries, the way it's cut, need to be looked at. It's plain to see it favors the government. Well, I think we need to look at it. Akira say you don't read my contribution at all. What I do here, boy? Akira, I just read.
I owe Nadia an apology. She told me at the last show I didn't read her comments or her contribution.
Or maybe
I read it afterward.
Maybe when you and Diana will say Akira put comments and only and read it. Akira, I just read all your comments, man, because I know Akira. Akira is for Anderson, right?
I think so.
Akira and my partner Anderson going. Let me say Nathaniel, boy, all the way from Palatuve, boy, lockdown Anderson. Nathaniel, how you going, partner? Nathaniel Boris, boy.
Yeah, I saw him last show he was on.
Yeah, Nathaniel, what is the story up there? Oh, oh God. Richard Ramuk to Petrie in Trinidad and Tobago get the Sinopharm vaccine. Oh God. Well, yes. Yeah. So I wanted to go to, let me see something. Oh God. Akira, you're bringing your business in the village, girl. Akira say I leave Anderson, he drinks too much and spend all money, all small money and play with.
Oh gosh. Akira.
God. Akira. Yeah, Akira, Shakira is a famous South African singer, right?
Right.
She sing that big World Cup song when the World Cup is in South Africa.
Waka Waka.
Waka Waka, yeah, man.
Is
big song,
Is she South African or Brazilian? What is she?
No, I think she's South African, man.
Let's see
Let me
where
see.
she's from. Let me see where she's from.
Let me find out. Is Shakira South African? That's a good question. Is Shakira South African?
Where's Shakira, the singer, from?
Shakira was born in Barranquilla.
Where's that? South Africa?
Colombia.
Colombia?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Trinidad, man. Go say South America. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, boy. All right. She no farm, boy. Yeah, that was a big song, boy, for that World Cup. I thought she was from South Africa, you know. Waka Waka.
Mm-hmm. Samanamina. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. Hey. Kapiza. Kapiza? You know the girl is she Colombian, right?
Yes, she was born in Colombia.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Welcome. Thank you. Colombia, man. The woman is Colombian.
Her parents are Spanish and Lebanese.
She nice too bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Shakira, boy. You know, but that's a big song, you know. Waka Waka, boy. So that Margo, welcome. Hey, Kapiza, you thought Brazil was in Colombia? Oh, God. Captain, what's wrong with you? So we talked about the first one with respect to you know, a kind of misleading thing there from the press now. Right? I want you all to you all remember this? You all remember this? Tommy, I wonder if you remember this. I want you all to look at this. Tommy, you remember this?
Laventi, here I come.
You know who that was, right?
Um,
Let me read it. Since it's kind of difficult on the screen. Let me read the headline.
Is that Michael Jackson?
No. Think again. PDP man.
Who?
The PDP man.
Oh, I said Michael Jackson.
Oh God. Any man plenty credit by Toby. Yeah, so this was when we partner decide that he going Trinidad, right? He going Trinidad. And this was the headline in the Express, right? And I want to read it for you guys. Let me get it here. All right, here it is. Right? Of course, you can see Love Until Here I Come. This was in May 2023. No, May 2nd, 2022. My bad. May 2nd, 2022 is Love Until Here I Come. And under the headline, let me read for you guys what it says, right? And then we're going to go to a video after that.
PDP launches party in Trinidad. Duke pledges
It's kind of hard to read.
to live among depressed people.
Yes. PDP launches party in Trinidad. Duke pledges to live among depressed people. Right? So, you know, Love Until is considered to be a depressed community, right? And I thought it was a good initiative. He could have shown hands on them that I am part of the people and I am going to live with the people. Because I have put out a challenge to Fitzgerald Hines. If he's lived 2 weeks in Laventille, I go come to Trinidad and live 2 weeks in Laventille too. You understand? Because I think that's a good thing. So in May 2022, the headline is Love Until Here I Come. Right? Which I think is a good thing. Right, Tommy? You wanna be with the people, you want to live with the people, you know, you want to show them that you're serious.
You want your finger on the pulse.
You want to have your finger on the pulse, yes, and you want to be there with them. All right?
Yep.
Now, here is lately in his press conference after he lost the local government election, right?
After he lost his deposits.
Uh, Tommy, so you ever see now?
Disenchanted by the results of Monday, and that you are going to continue your efforts in Trinidad and I suspect in Tobago in the future?
Well, I'll answer both questions like this. Certainly, we have landed in Trinidad and we will not turn back. We are here and we will contest every single election in Trinidad until thy kingdom come. There is no turning back. There is no losing of steam or enthusiasm. We are here and we are happy that we started with 0, but we end up way over 1,000. It must be that we did something right to make persons come out to vote. A lot of those voters are first-time voters. People must be given time to be convinced. And this is no quick fix. This is no puppy show thing. We are giving all the persons all the time they need. And we are going to be here as an alternative with a different message. Now,
several days later,
we want to reassert ourselves in Tobago from early as next month in a very powerful way.
You know, Tommy, what I say, I think politicians have to stop trying to take people for fools. You understand? And here are the facts. These are the facts. And anybody could reassess their positions, right? So, at one point in time, as a matter of fact, let me be very, very clear. I coined Fali Chavez Augustine and Watson Duke transformational leaders. And I make no qualms about that, and I will never take that back. And here's why I won't take that back as far as Watson Duke is concerned. And these are the facts. Watson Duke took a party from 2 to 6 to 14. That's transformational at any part of the world you go. Right? So you cannot say that the guy was not a transformational leader. Right? After that, the stories are a little different. But based on that situation, right, Watson Duke, in my opinion, at that point in time was a transformational leader. Now let me get now to the current situation, right? You had goals to be the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. You came to Trinidad with the goal of being Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Fine. We all have goals that we like to achieve, you know? And I felt that at that point in time that PDP could be a viable option to the PNM and the UNC after what was done in Tobago, right? I said, great. So, you started to run around. You started to give people bread. You started to give people loaves, all kind of thing. You run around, loaves of love and all this kind of thing. I said, all right. Again, people bread, you're feeding them. There's something in the Bible talk about feeding people. There's no problem with that, right? Now, after that, you reconsider your position and you say you want to become mayor now of Port of Spain. So you reduce your ambition, right? You lower the bar for yourself. You want to become the mayor of Port of Spain. Okay, no problem, right? You start to run around Port of Spain and do all kind of thing in Port of Spain. You was on Nelson Street. You went to all these different places, and it seemed like if he could make a significant impact. And of course, then the Kizil Gate happened, right? And that was the downfall after that. You understand? So he contested certain seats. He got about 1,200 votes, right? Which is an abysmal failure as far as he's concerned, right? And then all of a sudden now, what about all those candidates who represented the PDP in Port of Spain now and other environs? Where do they stand? Because you pack up now and you going back to Tobago. What about those candidates, people? Tell me, what happened to them now?
Well, they had to fend for themselves.
So does that seem like if it is a person who is a stable person? I'm just
Not.
asking, right? I mean,
I say not.
you know, and the sad part about it, Tommy, for me, boy, is that there were possibilities with the grassroots areas in Trinidad and Tobago that he could have had an impact in those areas.
You know something. There's a there's a there's a saying. Sometimes you have to check your ego in at the door. I think there's an ego issue going on there
With him?
with him when it comes to. I want to just backtrack to what's the Fali and his and Fali's relationship. I mean, you gave Fali the lead, you gave him the wheel. Leave him at the wheel. Leave him at the wheel. Why you have to be nudging him constantly? You don't get if you didn't give him if you didn't think he was competent in the first place, you should not have given him the wheel because you were in charge of the PDP, and it's the PDP that was the vehicle that was taken on Tobago, as we clearly see, and it succeeded with somebody else at the wheel, not you. If your ego wasn't as big as it were, then you wouldn't be in the predicament you are today. I don't know. You could have been just as good being a kingmaker.
Well. You see, Tommy, he didn't want it just to be the kingmaker. He wanted to be the king and the kingmaker. You understand?
You have to make his mind up. If he wanted to be the king, then he should have just operated as a king.
Yeah, he should have operated as the king.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. And now, but listen, I am not naive to believe that there's no support for Watson Duke and Tobago. I'm not naive to believe that. I believe there is support for Watson Duke and Tobago. Is there support for him to win the 2 seats? I don't know. However, Tommy, we have to be very careful, because
he can split the vote and
there we go. There we go.
Back to what it was.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. And I thought about that today. I said, listen, what's going to happen is that unless the TPP can attract PNM voters, the PDP and the TPP going to split those votes that all went to the PDP, and they're going to bring it right back to where it was before the 14-1 shellacking.
But you know, Code Red would like that interference to be ran.
Oh,
so that they can slip right through the middle and get to the finish line first.
Yeah, they don't mind. They don't mind at all. You know? They actually want that to happen.
I really hope that the voters see through all of it.
For me, boy, I want to hope so too, boy. But Tommy, the PNM voters gonna stay with the PNM.
Yep, because we know that's a cult.
Because what happens is that there were some PNM people who were very disenchanted with the PNM and they decided to go with the PDP. So the TTP has to strategize to figure out how they could win some of them PNM voters.
What has to happen is that they have to motivate the young and new voters. And once they do that, they'll be all right. Because if the youngsters younger voters stay away from the poll, then you can forget it.
But Tommy, to me, a wild card in this election could be the diaspora. I believe in my estimation, a wild card in this Tobago election, as small as it is, and people winning by so much small margin, right? If you could mobilize the diaspora in order for the Tobagonians to come back home and vote during that election, it could have a significant impact.
Point taken.
Because you already have, I mean, the lines are already drawn in Tobago, you know. You understand? And unless you could motivate PNM voters to go over to the TPP, you know, you have to be able to think outside the box and see how you could motivate. As you said to me, yeah, some of the young people who are going to be able to vote in 2025, right? And so people outside the diaspora, right, start working now for them to say, listen, we want you all to come back and vote in the 2025 election. You understand? And that could have a significant impact.
It's a job. It's a job to be done. Because
it's a job to be done. And in my estimation, if they are thinking like that, if they are thinking outside the box, you know, I mean, I shouldn't have given out this strategy here, but you know, I mean, I should, you know, but that's my thinking, Tommy, because you have to think outside the box. It's critical thinking.
And you have to start working on your strategy from now. You can't wait till 2024.
Yeah, you have to start from right now. You can't wait till, in my estimation, 2 years out is where you have to start. You can't wait until 6 months before. You know how those do things in Trinidad. My election date in my pocket. You
Back
know?
pocket. When the bell ring, we'll jump.
Yeah. I go figure out when we go do it. Let me do it now. So Nathaniel says, my wife took the job and got a stroke right there in the health place. Oh, sorry to hear that. And let me say, we wish to keep your mom a speedy recovery. She's in the hospital, I believe. And she suffered some complications, so we are wishing her with the best, and our prayers are with her. Right? So Takesha, we wish you all the best with your mom and hope things turn around for you and the family. You know, Kevin Williams says Duke. Bonnie Roberts says Duke played himself out of politics from both Tobago and Trinidad. Yeah, I think Duke put himself in the political cemetery, but don't underestimate his influence in Tobago. Scopisa say Walls Twiggy House real nice in Trinidad.
Inside.
Yeah, real nice inside. Yeah. These 4 seats can no longer. Bonnie says these 2 seats can no longer be considered as P&M seats. Those days gone. Bonnie, I hear you, but
take nothing for granted.
Take nothing for granted. You understand? You see this past election here, the local government election, right? As much as there are certain seats that have been lost, and Tommy, the Arima seat, the UNC had won it, and then the PNM turned out to actually, well, the PNM won it first, then the UNC win it with the recount, and then the recount, after the recount, the PNM end up winning it again. So I guess, let me see, that is the Arima. I guess that's going to head to court, I think. Let me see which seat is that. I think that's the Arima seat. Let's see if I get that. Hold on. So this election seemed to be
riddled with controversy.
Yeah, and we have to get to 45. Finally get arrested and was booked. You know?
Yeah, well, 45 played it himself.
So we see the UNC got 24 aldermen. Let me see if I get that one with here we go. Here we go. I don't like this thing on my phone, you know. All right, let me try to get it in let me try to get it in WhatsApp. It's easier to read when I get it in WhatsApp. So here it is. Let me see. Here we go. 2 vote swing. Okay, so 2 days ago, EBC 2-vote swing gives a Rima Northeast to PNM, more LGE Bacchanal. Post local government election Bacchanal continued on Thursday when the EBC said the PNM went to Arima Northeast District, which falls under the Arima Borough Corporation. In the August 14 local government election, the PNM and UNC each received 623 votes in the district. On August 15, the UNC requested a recount. The recount gave the UNC 624 votes to PNM 623. The EBC accepted a request for the PNM for a second recount. A statement issued by the EBC on Thursday said PNM candidate Kim Magdalene Garcia received 2 additional votes in a second recount of votes in the district. Oh God! This result overturns the outcome of the recount, which was conducted during the period August 16 to the 17, 2023, and saw the UNC candidate Jazino Domingo Gustav Rigsby being declared the winner. The result of the second recount gave the PNM 625 votes, while the UNC got 624. The EBC said the recount was conducted by Assistant Chief Election Officer Pamela Ogis in accordance with Election Rule 106.1 of the Representation of the People's Act. In both recounts, the Progressive Empowerment Party, which also contested the district, got 81 votes. The PNM hailed the EBC announcement as a victory. PNM General Secretary Foster Cummins said the party accepts the results as announced by the EBC for the electoral district of Arima Northeast. He extended the PNM's congratulations to Magdalene Garcia. Other senior PNM officials speaking on condition of anonymity expected Magdalene Garcia to be sworn in with other councillors of the Arima Borough Corporations at the Arima Town Hall last Friday at 10 a.m. So the results of the second recount hold, the PNM will hold all 7 seats in the corporation. Up to press time, there was no official response from the UNC to the second Arima Northeast recount. Sources said the party was consulting with its lawyers and waiting for word from them before making an official comment. So where exactly does that stand? You know, it's left to be seen. Right? So Prasad said, I took the Johnson & Johnson, that is one shot. Bonnie said, in Tobago, it's different from Trinidad. Voting is not on race, and with Fali looking for self-governance, it's what the Tobagonians have been seeking for a very long time. Yes, I totally agree with you. Tobagonians don't vote on race. They vote on issues. Highly welcome. And Bonnie says Fali will get the young voters.
Absolutely.
I agree with that too as well.
They have to be motivated to come out and vote, though, and not be distracted and bamboozled by the media, because the media is, be it social, broadcast, however, the media is usually what helps people make their minds up. Print, broadcast, social.
You see, I think they have to do things in order to motivate the people, in order for them to come out. And I don't think they can wait 6 months before the election, because Prime Minister Rowley is an astute politician.
Absolutely. Fali's young. Fali's young, and they know he's green and whether behind the ears and so on. But he has to use some new strategy to keep the voters' interest from now and to build them up.
You know, but Tommy, the thing about it, right? It appears that there is never a dull day in politics in Trinidad and Tobago. Every single day. Well, I guess we can say the same thing for the United States of America. Yeah.
Yeah, democracy is a work in progress.
Now, Tommy, there is a big deal with this firearm that was returned by the Minister of Energy, Stuart Young, right? And the NTA put out a note on that. And Watchman, Wayne Hayden, the Watchman, also put out a voice note on that. So I want to read what the NTA says. First of all, let's listen to what Stuart Young was asked the question. Go ahead, Tommy.
No, I'm saying, were you going to play Watchman's?
Yes, yes. So Stuart Young was asked the question. Here we go.
No audio.
All right, no audio. I don't know why that is. Let me see. Hold on.
I saw that. He has learned well from the big boss how to deal with the media.
Yeah, well, anyway, we didn't get any audio from that. So let me see if I can play it from my phone. Hold on. Let me play it from my phone. So what happened is that Stuart Young was asked a question. Let me play it from my phone. Here we go.
What is the question?
All right, it's kind of low. Let's try that again.
What is the question?
So the question was asked to Stuart Young about the gun situation, right? And the video which you couldn't hear, they said Stuart Young stoops.
Yes, he did.
Now the NTA put out a statement, and the statement reads, the NTA demands transparency and accountability from Stuart Young. The National Transformation Alliance is urgently calling for a comprehensive investigation into Stuart Young's recent admission that he donated a legally owned firearm to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. This revelation raises several crucial points that cannot be ignored. Number one, firearms disposal procedure. It is vital to emphasize that individuals holding a firearm user's license, FUL, are not authorized to donate their firearms. Instead, there exists a formal procedure for disposing of firearms through the use of a disposal form. If disposing of a firearm to the TTPS, the service must adhere to its internal procurement policies, ensuring a regulated and transparent process. Number two, firearm return. The act of disposing the firearm to a specific division within the TTPS, such as the Multi-Operation Purpose Unit, or MOP, is of particular concern. Given that this division is responsible for Minister Young's continuous state-sponsored security, this action appears unusual. It is customary in such situation to return firearms to the station of issuance where annual fees are paid. 3. Weapons classification. The term assault weapon lacks recognition in formal firearms classification, and there is nothing in our laws which classifies anything as an assault weapon. Firearms are generally categorized as either semi-automatic or automatic. This distinction is why handguns, rifles, and even shotguns, which are issued to farmers, are informally referred to as assault weapons. Only law enforcement entities and personnel, not civilians like Minister Young, let me repeat, say that only law enforcement entities and personnel, not civilians like Minister Young, can be issued automatic weapons by the Commissioner of Police. And it is the reason why it is ignorant for anyone to refer to them as assault weapons. So, I mean, this is a long one. Fourth, they talk about minister's timing. Fifth, minister's desire. And And it goes on. So, and it says, this is why, given the witch hunt by this Pete Rowley-led government with regards to legal firearms, firearms dealers, and firearm owners, it is imperative that no minister or affiliate of this government evade comprehensive scrutiny. Transparent investigation is pivotal to upholding the principles of fairness and justice, right? So that is a synopsis of the NTA's demand for transparency and accountability. Let's go to Watchman's voice note. All right, let's make sure we can get this right. Watchman. I mean, never a dull day, boy. So here we go. This is Watchman.
This is Dr. Wayne Haid, aka the Watchman, on the 24th of August, 2023. And I want to continue my discussion about the Firearms Act, especially in light of the statements made by the Honorable Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Rudal Munilal, and former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, and what I view as misinformation on lack of understanding and knowledge of the law that both of them seem to express in their public statements. And let me deal with full disclosure here. I know Rudal Munilal a long time. We were friends, even though I haven't spoken to him in a very, very long time. I don't know Stuart Young. I've never met him, and I don't know who he is. I know Gary Griffith from playing hockey and rugby, particularly hockey, against the Army from long time ago. So my comments here are based on what the law is and what they are saying, which may or may not be true. And the abuse of authority that I am saying took place under Gary Griffith's time with respect to the issuing of firearms and ammunition to members of the public. And I think this entire issue involving Stuart Young is a red herring intended to draw our attention away from the abuse of process that took place during his time. And let me start by talking about what Stuart Young did. He was issued with a firearm, and a firearm could only be issued under the authority and the signature of the Commissioner of Police. If, for any reason, the Commissioner of Police signature does not appear on the license or cannot be verified on the documents, then something is wrong. Some bubble take place, some crime took place, not on the part of the minister, but on the part of officers in the police service. Because I understand many signatures have been denied as having been made by the Commissioner of Police then, which is a really big thing. That is where the investigation must really start and focus on. But under the Firearms Act, a person can decide to surrender their firearm, and for several reasons. They might be leaving the country, they might feel that the firearm is not suitable to them, they might feel that there's some controversy and they don't want to keep the firearm anymore, and they can surrender it. And Mr. Stuart Young did the proper thing. No question is being asked, why didn't he send it to the nearest police station? Why to police headquarters or MOPS or something? All that is nonsensical. The law says that you will surrender to the nearest police station, but that's a literal reading of the law. And as a lawyer, I expect Mr. Munilal to know this. But Mr. Griffith, I don't expect him to know this. I don't think he has a sound basis of the law because he has not had any formal training in it. You're supposed to hand it in to the nearest police station, but you're handing it for the purpose of surrendering it to the person who issued it. That's the commissioner of police. And therefore, once there's a chain of custody, you could hand it into any person under the authority of the commissioner who will maintain that chain of custody in terms of surrendering the firearm. And generally, people don't hand it into the police station. They tend to hand it in to the firearm section. In fact, over the years, many people have handed in or surrendered firearms in similar circumstances. So therefore, there's nothing wrong in handing it over, surrendering it, or even deciding after surrendering it to donate it to the police, not to donate it to John Brown on the corner, but to the police service, because after all, the person paid for it. You remember what I said some time ago, that for some of those firearms, the excess in firearms that was given to members of the public under Gary Griffith's time, 29 and 16, including to members of the opposition. And I know their names. I know who have 9, I know who have 6. They have their names, I know. So if it's the case, they should hand in their firearms like Stuart Young did. Because the problem is, some of the firearms that they have can easily be converted to make them into automatic weapons. And automatic weapons are also called prohibited weapons. And people have been allowed, under Gary Griffith's time, have been allowed, and they imported items that can be used to convert these firearms into automatic firearms. People have been found in possession of these items. So, why are we not talking about that? Why are we talking about a minister who chose to surrender a legal firearm? And he may have surrendered it because he has more than one. But that is a legacy of Gary. And people had tons, and they used this abuse of the law called a variation. No, the way I understand a variation is like this. Let's say you have a shotgun because you have an estate and you need to kill pests on your estate. Not human pests, but animal pests. And you also want to hunt. But you can't go and hunt with that shotgun because you don't have a hunter's license. When you get a hunter's license, then you inform the police, and they will then vary your license to say that that shotgun you have, you don't have to get another weapon. You can use it for both killing pests and for hunting. But some people decide that they want a separate gun, so they might get 2 shotguns. But in reality, the only other 2 areas you will get a firearm for is for personal protection and if you're involved in sports shooting. I'm not talking about companies, security companies who may have weapons to be used by their employees. But people have been granted tons of weapons and created their own arsenal. And if they want to ask these questions, why don't we ask, why were these variations done? And in that manner, to allow people to get these weapons. And I understand that they were showing pictures of the type of firearm that that Mr. Young had. But it's no different. It's no different to firearms that I know that people associated with the former commissioner also have. Let's see their pictures. And you will see that whether they look like assault weapons as well, even though in technical terms they are submachine guns or semi-automatic firearms. So, what are you talking about here now? Why are you going after the minister for doing the right thing? He doesn't have to hand it in to the nearest police station to his district, because the law does not require you to do it exactly that way in order or you committed an offense. Come on, this is ridiculous. They are failing to address the problem. The variations that were given. In fact, I understand that people got 4 variations in a day. There are examples of that, where people get 4 variations, meaning very, 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 they get 4 gone in one day. That was not how the system was intended to be used. So you have 2,125 variations. Of those variations, you may find that there's only 400 people. So where is the point about arming police officers, retired police officers of good stature? Their applications still lost or can't be found or was never dealt with. Oh, and at the same time, let's talk about who has firearms. There's a recent case of a man threatening a woman, and it appeared on social media. And the police officer on TV, Superintendent Alexander, was saying, well, if that man has a firearm, then the police should take it away from him because of the fear of him causing bodily harm to someone. That's a good point. That's a good point. Of course, the law says that if a person convicted of domestic violence, then they become a restricted person and you could take away their firearms. But the commissioner also has the power to withdraw firearms from persons who he believes could provide such a threat. So what about if a person has a firearm and was charged for rape? Isn't rape an act of violence against women? It is. Nobody could argue it. And don't talk about date rape and don't tell me about marital rape. The law says rape is an act of the violence, criminal violence against women. Would you issue a man who's facing a rape charge a firearm? Or would you allow him to keep it? What about the case goes bad and he runs amok and starts shooting people? That could happen. So they are not addressing the issue. They are trying to play politics. And I would expect better from trained lawyers. Let us focus on how many people receive firearms in an improper manner in the last 3 or 4 years. And you will find it is rotten as it is deep. And I know people have been charged, but like the American like to say, I believe that there are other unindicted co-conspirators who have not yet faced the law. Let me do the right thing and focus on the right issues and don't play these games while your hands are not clean. Because I know who have and I know who ain't have. Well, let me say more.
Wow.
So folks, that is the Watchman. When you come back, we're gonna address that. We're gonna address the NTA statement. We're gonna address Watchman. It's kind of sad to me that Watchman is all the way there. I think he's in Uganda and it's about 2 a.m. there in the morning now, and I don't want to pick up the phone and call him.
Yeah,
I will see if I could get him to come in so we could talk. We could try to get Gary too as well. So folks, let's go for a quick station identification. Stick and stay. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM. You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
I tell myself, look here, boy, shorty, time to do something for your country. I'm opening a political party. Time for you to make a decision at the next general election and join the leaders of our nation. When I read them Sunday newspapers with all them cussing people, tell myself I am not.
Yeah, we are back with you. Something's going on with that. It's individual to the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. It's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 10 p.m. So, Tommy, what's your take on the statement by the NTA and then the statement by Watchman?
Yeah? I want to start off with Watchman. Watchman seemed to know quite a bit. But what he's saying is factual. And if what he's saying can be proven, then there are a lot of questions that needs to be answered. You realize that he incriminates, or should I say, implicates the leader of the NTA? You hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard exactly what you said. I hear what you said.
I wonder what Gary would have to say, what Gary has to say about what he has to say.
I guess what we can do,
because I mean, when you really think about it, it's not fair to just.
I wonder if he heard that. I think he should have heard that voicemail, right?
Gary would have heard that. You know, Gary's on top of everything.
Let me see if I could call him to see. What time is it?
Should be little after 9.
Let me call. We call Gary. Yeah. Folks, we're calling Gary Griffith.
Do you think the PM's behavior was due to that information that
Who the Prime Minister?
Yeah.
His behavior was. His behavior when? He didn't answer.
I mean, the way he treated with Gary, as far as putting him back in the position of COP.
I just think that you know what, I don't know. I just think they both of them became loggerheads, and he just decided that, you know what, I'm not bringing you back in to be commissioner of police.
I was wondering if he had all that information that Watchman seems to be spewing right now.
Well, I mean, is the Prime Minister, he will have all the information. He's the head of the Security Council. So he will have all the information.
Based on what Watchman is saying, it doesn't make Gary look good at all.
Well, I mean, Gary had to defend himself. I mean, you know, Gary good at defending himself anyway. I don't have to say that.
Yep.
You know, but I don't think Watchman talks out of time. I don't think his statements are out of time in them, so to speak.
How accurate is his information?
He knows a lot of people. Put it that way. He knows a lot of people. Just as how Gary know a lot of people, because of course Gary was a commissioner of police. Watchman knows a lot of people too. You know, and so and that don't mean to say because you know a lot of people, they could be feeding you accurate information. You know, so but Tommy, I would like Watchman to call the names of the people in the UNC who you think get licensed, right? Because they calling Watchman name, they calling they call Stuart Young's name, right? You know, Tommy, you know we should take a chance and call him.
Watchman?
Yeah.
What time is it in Uganda?
Let me see. What time is it in Uganda? Let me see what time.
Probably about 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I think the last time we called him. What? Okay, we just answered the phone. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on, man. Let me see something. You just hold on, man. Let me see something. Hold on, I'm sending a message. Hold on, man. Yeah, so I just sent him a message. Let me see what time. What time is 1:09. Not that late. 1:09. That late?
Well, it depends.
Let me take a try. Let me call Gary then. Hold on, man. Let's call Gary. Hello, Mr. Griffith. You're live on WZYE 95.9 FM. It's Tommy and Ansem. Diana is not here with us tonight. Okay, he's reconnecting. Hello, Mr. Griffith. You're live on WZYE 95.9 FM. This is Tommy and Ansem. Diana is not with us tonight. How are you doing?
All is skipping though.
Yeah, skipping.
Yeah, but I mean, you okay?
Okay, yeah. What we just did, right, Gary? We just read the statement by NTA with respect to the situation with regard to Stuart Young, and then we played the voice note with respect to Watchman. Have you heard that voice note?
Yeah. I think I may have heard it. By the way, are we on live?
Yeah, we on live.
Okay, sure. Okay, yes. I heard parts of it. He's the commissioner of audio messages, so that's what he does. I think because he's not so good looking, he does no videos. So he's the commissioner of audio messages. This is what usually happens when a civilian applies for the post of commissioner of police and annihilates you because you feel that you're so good as a police officer. So he had so many years of experience in the police service and the United Nations, and a civilian decides to apply for commissioner of police and beat him comprehensively by about 15-20% when he applied for the position in 2018. And then when he tried to reapply in 2021, they told him he wasn't qualified. So this is what happens when it says you get like that. So he's now the commissioner of audio messages. But as we move along. you're saying.
What is your take on exactly what he said, that he don't think Stuart Young did anything wrong? As a matter of fact, he's saying that Stuart Young did the right thing and turned in the weapon.
It shows ignorance of the highest order. It shows why it is that Watchman was totally rejected from even being shortlisted for the post of Commissioner of Police. It shows how, when it is, we are so politically biased. You notice every single comment Watchman makes, it has nothing negative about the PNM or the government. And that is why when you're political, you're blinded. And that is why it is, unfortunately, you don't want people to hold positions of law enforcement authority that are so politically blinded. To start with, this man is an excuse for a police officer previously. How you can make a statement like that to say that he did nothing wrong without getting the facts, without getting the evidence? Suppose Stuart Young had an assault weapon. Suppose he recalibrated it and turned it into an assault weapon. Suppose you don't know what Stuart Young did, but you, as the Commissioner of Audio Messages, as ignorant as you are, could jump up to say Stuart Young did nothing wrong without you even knowing the facts. You do not know, and I'm not saying that he did, that Stuart Young did, by the way. But suppose Stuart Young recalibrated the weapon, that it was initially a semi-automatic, and he changed it to automatic, he would have broken the law. So suppose Stuart Young did not pay for the weapon from the firearm dealer. So to come with the stupid comment to say he did nothing wrong, it shows how ignorant and backward Watchman is. And that is why he's known as the Commissioner of Audio Messages, because he's not that good looking to ever do videos. So they don't know what happened. So if you don't know what happened, how could you start, and then to have the audacity to say that if anything, Gary Griffith would have broken the law. It shows how biased, how stupid the man is. Because and that is why he must read the law to understand no Commissioner of Police has any authorization to deliver any automatic weapon to any civilian, to any citizen, even a police officer as personal use as a FUL. The only automatic weapons that the commissioner could approve is to the law enforcement authorities, not civilian, not the officials, as a police officer on his own, or a fire officer, or a soldier. So it shows how ignorant the man is with his and what is amazing is people listen to this joker. So what he said was totally irrelevant, because to bring in any automatic weapon, it must come through customs. It must come through the firearm dealer. It must be signed by several people in the FUL department, in the police service. None of them will authorize any civilian to have an automatic weapon. So that shows the ignorance of the Commissioner of Audio Messages, Watchman. And that's why I signed for approval. Even though Stuart Young was harassing me to be a SRP, and I didn't think that he was qualified or to fit the bill, or an automatic weapon to be given to the
We lost him. And so we lost Gary. Hello?
But were you able to hear what I said?
The last minute we didn't hear. The last minute.
We lost Stephen.
Well, what I was stating is that it shows his ignorance at the highest level, how biased Watchman is, the Commissioner of Audio Messages, because as I said, the only persons that can get the Commissioner of Police only has authority to give semi-automatic firearms to any civilian, inclusive of Stuart Young as the minister, even though he was harassing me to be an SRP, and I didn't think he was qualified for that position. So before it gets to the commissioner's final signature, it must go through customs, it must go through the firearm dealer, it must go through the several officers in the firearm department, in the police service, and none of them will bring any document to the commissioner to sign for any civilian to get an automatic weapon. It shows how ignorant Watchman is and how biased he is. And so understand that anytime you hear the Commissioner of Audio Messages, understand you're not educating yourself. You're listening to a politically biased joker who still has a tabanka because a civilian comprehensively defeated him when he applied for the position of Commissioner of Police, something that he will never hold in his life. So the only people that can get automatic weapons that could be approved to be allowed to come into the country and to be issued by firearm dealers and to be approved by the Commissioner of Police would be the protective services. So Stuart Young never received an automatic weapon from me as the Commissioner of Police. So for the Commissioner of Audio Messages, Watchman, to be so stupid to state that Gary Griffith may have done something wrong, it shows how politically biased and ignorant he is, which is why he went down the pecking order when he applied for the position and why he was even rejected to apply for the post of Commissioner 2 years ago. Additionally, to say that you know for a fact Stuart did nothing wrong, how do you know what is in that weapon? How do you know that that weapon was not altered? You do not know. You're not there. You're not a police officer and you never would be again. And you will never have a position of authority to make such a decision. So we do not know. And that is the point that I am stating. If you received a weapon legally from the Commissioner of Police, why would you hand it over after just a year? What was your reason of panicking that will cause you to hand it over? Is it that something you did with that weapon that caused you to panic to rush it back? And when you hand in a weapon, you don't donate it to the police service. You say, look, I'm going to discard it. So you hand it over to the station where you're paying your annual dues, not send it to a special elite unit such as MOPS. Why would you send it there? And also, why give it up when it is that you have full authorization and based on the approval from the Commissioner of Police?
So he was also saying that, he called MOPS, he was saying that you didn't really have to hand it over to the police station that's closest to you. You could hand it over to any other police station.
Total stupidity, because when you have to pay your annual fees, it is the station that has your book to justify that you are entitled. So you don't go to any station. That shows how clueless this man is. Do you feel you could go by any station to pay your annual fees? And now, what I was putting to put an end to that was the FUL card with the chip. And that chip was to ensure we can monitor persons, to make sure that they train annually, to make sure that they pay their annual fees. So to say that this joker is trying to say that if you have a weapon, you decide to give it up, you can just go to any station and say, I'm handing over that weapon. That station would not have the documentation because they still have the outdated prehistoric paper trail. If it is there stayed with the card that I had, with the chip, then you could have done that. Then you could have paid anywhere, you could hand it over anywhere. You cannot do that. And it shows how clueless the man is, but how politically biased he is as well. So there's nothing, you feel that somebody could get a firearm and just go to any station and say, I'm handing this over, you'll keep it. And this shows how clueless this man is. And I hope the public understands that when the Commissioner of Audio Messages speaks, what you must do is don't waste if you listen to the 5-minute rubbish from him, you would have wasted 5 minutes of your life that you will regret coming down to just before your deathbed.
So Gary, was Stuart Young issued any variation under your watch?
No, and that there is why the difference with myself and the Commissioner of Audio Messages. It would be improper of me to state who received any firearms under me, and even though Keith Rowley, as clueless as he was as well, trying to get an audit committee to get the list of people who acquired firearms, that is a degree of confidentiality. The weapons that Stuart Young would have received from me, if he received any, there's a degree of confidentiality. I am not going to put the life of a minister at risk by telling the country how many weapons he has, if he has weapons, and the caliber of the weapons. That shows, regardless of political affiliation, civilian, whether Stuart Young was involved or not, it would have been semi-automatic weapons, because those are the only weapons that a commissioner can hand over to any civilian through a FUL. That I could state. And many people would have received variations. What I could also state is the hypocrisy of this government, because the same Keith Rowley who is concerned about me handed over between the three of them, that I was asked for over 70 firearms to be approved because of their close friends and neighbors and allies who are the rich and famous. But when I decide to give firearms to the small farmer, to the small businessman, to the man who wants to be involved in the Olympic sport, you have a problem. It shows hypocrisy and double standard at the highest level. Don't let me get started with the same senior government officials that were harassing me to get a firearm dealership for their friend in Tobago who could then sell hundreds of firearms. But then you come back now being concerned about law-abiding citizens getting firearms. Let me tell you how stupid this is to all the listeners. 100% of all of the hundreds upon hundreds of murders committed by firearm in the last year in this country have been by illegal firearms. Yet we have the stupidity of this backward government still speaking about legal firearms.
So Gary, Watchman also talked about I think he talked 7 or 9 opposition members who have been also issued FULs. What about that?
Well, if he knows that, I challenge him to call the names. You know what was amazing? Huh? Watchman left the police service as a corporal after 30 odd years, or whatever it was. A corporal. Right after 30 odd years. He went abroad, all right, and then came back. And you all are speaking about what Watchman has to say. What position does this man hold? What position did he ever hold? The man has held no position, and yet you all are having a talk show about a man who has held no position of authority, who holds no position of relevance, and you all are trying to get clarification from this joker. It says so much about your station. No, Gary, who is Watchman? Wait, let me start with. Who is Watchman? Who is Watchman? I want to show you, if you are a legitimate radio station, the first thing you do is if you're trying to take quotes from people, right? What you're supposed to do is, if this person has a position of authority, a position of relevance, a position that we could say that he holds something that if he makes a statement, whether it is the man is in the opposition, he's in charge of the Police Welfare Association, he was holding a position of Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Who is Watchman? In fact, I challenge you, call his full name. You don't even know the man's full name. A lot of people don't even know it. He is. All right. Okay, well, but you're one of the few people. But here I challenge you. Here I ask you, who is he?
You just do your homework.
All right. No, I never said that. But what I said is, but you just pick up this man off the street, a commission of audio messages, and you're doing a whole show based on what he has to say. Really?
Gary, in all fairness, Gary, if Watchman makes a video, for me, for us here, the fair thing that we have to do, we can play the audio, and then what we decide to do is to reach out to you to get your side of the story.
No, but that's my point.
But Gary, rather than just playing one side of the story and leave that out there,
but what you have just exposed, if 1.4 million people put out that audio,
Gary, one minute. What we did, Gary, we read the NTA statement. Sure. We read the statement put out by the NTA. We played the Watchman audio tape, and then we called you to get your feedback.
No, I know, but you missed it. So you're missing my point. If 1.4 million other people put out an audio, would you play it? What gives Watchman the relevance of such importance?
Gary,
that is the point I'm trying to tell you.
Gary, if somebody out there put something out, because your party, you as a political leader, put out a statement regarding Stuart Young. Watchman put out a statement regarding Stuart Young as well. Those statements are opposite to each other. So what we need to do, as responsible journalists, we need to call you and get your side of the story. And I think that's fair.
No, but you're not listening. You're missing my point. If any other citizen had put out an audio message in contrast to what I said, would you have played the audio message of any citizen? Because, in other words, we have 1.4 million citizens in this country. So my point being is, why Watchman? What makes him so? Because,
Gary, let's be
you
honest.
Understand what?
But let's be honest.
Yeah.
Watchman is considered, like, if a person from Kwaito put out a statement, it's highly unlikely that the media go play that person's statement. So when a person like Watchman, who's been putting out audios for a while, put something out, the right thing to do is...
So you're not exactly saying, what? No, but wait, no. What makes Watchman... So because he puts out a lot of audios, that gives him relevance? Relevance is based on the quality of what the person says or the position that he holds. What position does Watchman hold? Or is he in charge of the Downtown Merchants Association? Is he in charge of a religious organization? Is he in charge of an NGO? Is he in charge of a political party? Is he in charge of the Police Welfare Association? In other words, Watchman is equivalent to any right-thinking citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. So if any citizen puts puts out audio appropriate to do an in-depth analysis to ascertain the relevance of the audio?
Gary,
what position does Watchman hold? That's the point.
But Gary,
he is irrelevant in the scheme of things. So he has now put an audio with lies, misleading information. This man, every single time he speaks, it is to attack people opposed to the PNM, never anything against the PNM. And you see that the man holds no position of authority. So my point is, if any citizen decides to just put audio messages, you see that mean this person
Gary,
is not relevant enough for us to do an interview?
Think about this, right, Gary? Think about this, right? We play the statement, right? You come on now and you give your side.
But oh Jesus Christ, I think I talking to a 5-year-old. What makes you gives the right? What is Watchman's audio of relevance for you to play it?
So Gary,
that's the point.
But Gary, think about this, right? We as media decide what we are going to put on the air and we think is important. You may not think that's important, but we think
no,
that's
but I'm
important.
asking you a question, but it's a simple question. I'm asking you, how does that become important to you? Based on what position does Watchman hold that gives him so much relevance that you see it as being important? Because you support in PNM?
No, that don't have nothing to do with...
But that is what I'm coming to.
But Gary...
But what position does Watchman hold that you see it being important?
Gary, have you seen... Gary, go to my page and see the things I have put out against the PNM. Go to my
no,
page,
but you're not listening. But you're not listening.
The PNM, that has nothing to do with...
Well, no, I asked the question. What position does Watchman hold that is relevant?
Gary, because I am the most critical person out in Trinidad and outside of Trinidad of the People National Movement. Most
well,
critical.
right. So, what point I'm asking? No, but listen, you're not listening. Calm down. No, but it is what? No, but what makes Watchman relevant?
Because
that
Gary,
you see this as being of importance.
But Gary, he put out a voicemail.
That's what I'm asking.
All right, he's an ex.
So if anybody puts out a voicemail, that will do a show on it.
But you see, no. You acting like you 5.
That is my point.
But you acting like you 5.
How? If any civilian puts out a so what makes Watchman better than more important and relevant than anybody? That's Gary, what I'm asking you, and you can't answer that yet.
But what do you mean, no, Gary? We here. When people put out information and we get the information and we believe it's important, we play the information and we get to try both sides of the
equation. And what makes it important? How does that become it? So if Watchman is a civilian, is a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, as all 1.4 million people are important. So if any of the 1.4 million people put on audio, it becomes important to you. What makes his audio important for you to do a talk show on? That's what I'm asking.
Larry, we have played Watchman audio here before. It wasn't about you.
Well,
it was about other people.
No, but you're missing the point. But that says a lot about you and your station. Again, I'm asking you, what makes Watchman's comments so relevant that you see it be important? Watchman has shares with your radio station then? Is he a shareholder?
No, but Gary, this is not personal, Gary. This is not.
No, but you're not answering the question. If any other civilian puts out an audio, would you play it? Would it be relevant? So why Watchman and not any other civilian?
It's important about something that's in the atmosphere. For example, the Stuart Young situation is important. That is why we played it, because Stuart Young is in the news. And you put out...
But you're missing the point.
You put out something about Stuart Young too. So if you put out something about Stuart Young and we read it, and Watchman put out something about Stuart Young and we played, what's the difference?
The difference is I was the previous commissioner of police. I was a previous minister of national security. Yes. I was a previous security advisor. I'm a present political leader. Who is Watchman? But who is Watchman? I am asking. No, but I am no. Call me. I am asking you. Who is Watchman?
He is.
It has to be the point, because if any civilian does an audio, would you see it being relevant then?
Okay, let me
if any civilian puts an audio.
If I do an audio, let me ask you a question. If I do an audio on you about FUs and all kind of things, do you think that's relevant?
No, but that is the point. You are a talk show host. That is, you see, you have a position of relevance. That's the point I'm trying to show you.
Oh.
What is Watchman's position of relevance?
Gary,
that this becomes a topic.
You think we relevant, by?
He's a security professional who is qualified. He has worked in the first world in this capacity. In a high position of security.
What is this position that you all claim about? Because you all see that this is relevant.
You work for the UN. That's That's a big organization.
Well, I was the first Trinidad and Tobago citizen ever to return home with a UN peacekeeping medal.
Yeah, but
and I just one of my.
But Gary, he been in a high position in the UN too, Gary.
Was his positions that you see as high positions?
Oh, go Gary, come on, man.
Call it.
Come on,
no, but you see,
I
no,
don't
but
have in front of me. We can.
I know. I'm being facetious. But the point I'm trying to show you is that when jokers like this just put out audio messages, you need to look at the relevance and the substance of it, and that is what he does. Every comment he makes is to attack myself, attack the opposition, never anything to attack the PNM. So you know what he is. So you have to take his comments with a pinch of salt. You don't use it as relevant. In other words, if Stuart Young makes a comment, as much as his mature comment last night was just chips at reporters, it shows what a little child he is. Or somebody from the Downtown Merchants Association. But let's forget about Watchman. Let's go back to the issue.
Well,
I mentioned the fact that the commissioner. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me talk about your appointment as the alderman now. Let me talk about your appointment as the alderman.
Well, we changed on the fact with the firearms that Watchman talk total nonsense and it shows his ignorance.
We ain't getting nowhere with it. You understand?
No, how? Watchman made an accusation. I exposed his ignorance to show that at no time a commissioner of police could ever issue an automatic weapon to any civilian. So he fooled the country. He misled people with his stupid audio message. Because the law is clear, a commissioner of police does not have that authority. So for him to make this stupid comment, it exposes his ignorance and not even understanding the law. A commissioner of police has no authority to give an automatic firearm to any civilian. You have just spent 15 minutes trying to discuss an audio message from somebody who's a total illiterate as it pertains to the law because of his bitterness and jealousy that I blasted him out of the competition to be commissioner of police. No commissioner of police has authority to give any civilian an automatic weapon, even if the commissioner wanted to. So for him to state that Gary may have broken the law, it shows how stupid he is, how irrelevant he is. And to state that he knows for a fact Stuart Young did not break the law, it shows how blinded he is as a political puppet, because you do not know what Stuart Young may have done. So you can't say that he's innocent or guilty because you're not aware of what transpired. And that is the point. But you decide to keep seeing this individual as being relevant based on him sending audio messages because what? Oh, he was in a high place in the United Nations. Really?
Gary, you know you're a friend of WZYE 95.9 FM.
I'm just clarifying, pal. I'm just clarifying certain things, you know. It's Saturday night, you know. Having a ball. I love you guys, you know. That's what a debate is about.
Yeah, he's a friend of WZYE 95.9 FM. And when we come bring in, we don't want to ask
No, but gentlemen, lift your standard. Watchman,
we lift standard. So we lower standards by calling you there.
No, by trying to use a man. The man was in. You know what United Nations is? United Nations is not law enforcement.
No, it's a big organization to get in United Nations.
It is right. So anybody in Trinidad and Tobago. Right, so anybody in Trinidad and Tobago who went to United Nations, every time they send audio messages, all you will take it and do a massive debrief and a feasibility study and do a massive.
Gary,
if they send it, and that's something to do with what's in the news, and it's important because the Gary in the news today. It's about Stuart Young.
I know, but gentlemen, fellas, what I'm trying to tell you all, I have just exposed to show how ignorant Watchman is by stating that Gary may have broken the law by giving the person. So you all have just trying to use somebody because he went UN and you show how clueless he is, how incompetent he is in not understanding, how biased he is because he never says anything against the PNM and always attacks people who have defeated him because he wasn't good enough to be appointed or even shortlisted as a commissioner of police. Why are you wasting your time? I have just showed how stupid this man is by stating that if a commissioner of police approves of an automatic weapon, he would have broken the law. The man is so dumb, he doesn't even understand a commissioner of police cannot approve an automatic weapon. The law is clear, I could WhatsApp it to you. And that's my point. So you are taking an audio messages because he served in the United Nations and he doesn't even have a clue about the laws. That's the point.
Gary, we get that. Gary, what about Paul Nahos? Let me ask you a question, Gary. Is Paul Nahos relatives of Faris Alwari?
I'm not aware. He may very well be.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
It's quite possible that there's always some degree of affiliation with persons in the Arab community, that some degree of relationship.
So what we saw, Gary, again in the news, Gary, we get this from the
Yeah.
NTA website too, Gary.
Not the Commission of Audio Messages, right?
No, we didn't get that from you posted that you calling that name. We get this from.
But I'm telling you, he's the Commissioner of Audio
But
Messages.
Gary, you see, we go to the NTA website too. We go to your messages on WhatsApp. We go to Tim Timal messages and we read those messages, Gary.
Good, because we hold positions. We are not the Commissioner of Audio Messages.
Well, he hold a position. You just gave the commissioner, so he has a position now. You give him a promotion. So you
made him relevant.
Yeah, you give him a promotion. So Gary, tell us quickly about
the
older man for the NTA and the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. I mean, we read the man bio. We talked about his extensive bio, including a doctoral candidate in security management. We read all of that, Gary, and you come on and tell me, but we acting like 5. You'll read all the thing right from your page.
No,
Gary.
not you all. I said, oh
we
gosh,
station,
stop taking it personal. I love you guys. Only relax now, Jesus. Stop being so thin-skinned now. Listen, I have been laughing through this whole interview.
No, talk to us about
sorry.
Talk to us about that.
Well,
we know that is the first for the NT, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah. And again, in total contrary, that there's the head of the PNMB team. There's Philip Alexander and the orange part. They take red and you wash it all out to get orange.
Gary, wait a minute. Gary, I see an article saying that you don't mind linking up with the PNM or the UNC. I see something about that. There was an article.
Gentlemen, let me tell you something to all your listeners. Philip Alexander is the circus clown in the circus of politics in Trinidad and Tobago. This is the same man who attacked the PNM, attacked the UNC, attacked me, attacked everybody. I don't say, hey, very fellas. All my 47 candidates lost their deposits, so I really need a little place to live. So you all come and take me over. I mean, here's one thing. I respect the PNM and the comedy of this man feeling that anybody in the PNM, UNC, or ABC, or XYZ would be caught dead. I mean, people would rather join the Al Qaeda, have the Al Qaeda join them than to join themselves with Philip Alexander.
Gary, be impeccable with your words, please.
I tell you, no, but he's a dangerous person. He will smile with you one day and then try to bust your throat the next day. I have seen it. I have seen the nature of the beast. Okay. Let me tell you one thing that this country is changing with. You see politicians who say nothing about attacking people, destroying people. This man spent 4 times a day for the last 2 months attacking myself. I kept trying to say, brother, I'm happily married. You seem to have a top bank over me. How could you be a political leader of a party that is not in government or opposition, but you spend all your time speaking about somebody else who's the leader of a political party that is not in government or opposition? It's obviously he had an agenda. And the results showed you end up with 5,000 votes from 47 seats. You lost almost all your deposits. And now you're jumping there to want to join with other people. That is irrelevant. Let's deal with legitimate political parties, which is the PNM, the UNC, and the NTA. Yeah. Right. So the NTA, after just several months, has now put ourselves on the political map by getting 16,000 odd votes. So when it is you have that pie chart, you're seeing about 58% yellow, or red, and then you
in and out. Gary? 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 We lost him? Anselm? Slim, we lost Gary. Anselm. Did we lose Gary? What's going on? Am I the only one on at this particular time? We've lost everybody else? Seems that way. Well, until Anselm comes back, I guess I'll just keep everybody.
to ensure that the citizens of the market could get what they require. Paul, who's, as you would have seen on his bio, was a previous alderman under the PNM. So he knows most of these people. So I think it was very strategic for me to put somebody there, not to go in there to be a rabble rouser and cause issues or to monitor the PNM corporation, but to be able to ensure that the citizens could be better served.
So Gary, how did based on, kind of give us a little explanation on how you were able to get that alderman? Was it based on percentage of votes in the Dogo Martin Corporation?
Yeah. Yes, so it's based on percentage. So you need to get at least 25% of all the votes in the corporation. Now, it is very difficult for a political party like us to get that if it is that you're not going up for all the seats. So remember, so there were 10 seats in Diego Martin. We only went up for 8. So we had to get a good chunk of votes in Diego Martin for us to get that 25%, because two of these seats that we did not, that UNC took were two of the safer seats, because those were seats where each they would have received probably about 800-900 votes. So we did not go for those seats. Same thing took place with us in Tunapuna, Rima, San Juan Lavantil, Port of Spain, where we only had less than half of those seats. So once you get less than half, it is impossible to get an alderman. So in other words, had we gone up for all the seats in Port of Spain alongside with the PNM, we would have acquired an alderman. Had we gone up for all the seats alongside PNM for San Juan Lavantil, for Rima, we would have acquired an alderman. Same with Point 14. But as soon as you don't go up for all these seats, it diminishes your opportunity of getting selected as an alderman, having an alderman in your party. The PNM are able to do it easily because they went up for all 141. This concept of an alderman, it diminishes your possibility of getting an alderman when you don't go up for all these seats, because you accumulate all the votes to make sure you have a 25% amount in that same corporation. Thankfully, because of the 8 seats that we went up for, we were able to cut tremendously the gap that the PNM had in those seats. So certain seats that they would have won by over 1,000 votes, several of those seats they went to probably less than 200. And because of that, it caused us to get that 25% requirement to get that alderman.
Gary, before you go, is there any possibility of the NTA aligning themselves with the PEP or the UNC? Any possibility?
Aligning, no, but remember, we did form a strategic alliance with the UNC. So if you could clarify what you mean.
PEP now, the same sort of alliance that you have with the UNC, that PEP could have with I'm just asking the question for you. Or
no, not at all. That is definitely not negotiable. I mean, this man, it is not what the country wants to see. You see, people like Watchman, the Philip Alexanders, always every time Watchman does an audio, it's the bad talk somebody. Every time Philip,
I don't hear you say nothing but what's you
I'm a boy. But likewise, Philip and I actually went to the same school together.
But Philip, that says your friend all the time when you cussing you.
Well, if that's the case, I really don't want enemies, yes? Jesus.
Yeah. Every time you cuss, say, but Gary's my friend.
But Gary's my friend. That just shows how this guy, the lights on, no one is in. I mean, how you could be, you keep calling somebody a friend, but spend all your time attacking, saying the nastiest things about people. But that is his style, that is his standard. I hope his family is proud. I have no intention to go down that road. I do not want to affiliate myself with anyone. And again, going back to the PNM, I hold the PNM in very high regard. I have an issue with the Keith Rowley PNM, the RPNM. The RPNM is the problem, not the PNM. There are several members of the PNM, and the PNM have done so much to help Trinidad and Tobago. This hatred people have, oh God, I hate the PNM, I'll never vote for the PNM. I don't buy into that. Suppose 10 years from now, the PNM is transformed, it's changed, and you have new dynamic blood. You're not going to vote for them because of what Rowley would have done. That is not right. Likewise, because of what Pandey may have done or Manning may have done, you can't be using a political party as a cult that I don't care if they're good or bad. I'm sticking with this one until I die. Thankfully, younger people in our society, yes, when I say younger, people under 40, as youth voters, they are not caught up in that nonsense. That's why a lot of young persons are telling their parents, Daddy, Mommy, don't tell me there's a PNM or UNC house. You can't tell me how to vote. You have technology, social media, that is what you're getting, and that's what the NTA brings to
but I'm glad Gary's talking about technology. Gary, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Aslan?
Who can
Gary.
Be...
Wow. Aslam, can you hear me?
That is what people need to see, transformation. You don't see it with people like Philip Alexander. Why must I work with somebody who has no track record? I mean, jump by jump, he has a track record. With the same persons who voted PNM, UNC, NTA, they're all down on Arpita Avenue right now. There's pan on the avenue, thousands of people there. And that is why the good thing is how we vote is not how we party.
Gary, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
You know, but before Gary, before you go,
yes,
can you hear me? What do you think? When do you think we're going to transform the way we vote with these ballot boxes and get some modern devices that would be more accurate and there wouldn't be a need for?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, I mean, like, I don't know if you're tapping my phone. I was speaking to several people about that same thing. This is unbelievable. That Arima seat, it was PNM, then UNC did a recount, then PNM did a recount, and you keep shifting the goalposts. We have a seat now that could very well go, if you're not aware, to all your listeners, this could very well go to the Privy Council. We have a situation where in Princestown, the votes were equal, and one of the ballots rejected because the EBC official forgot to initial her name. You can't disenfranchise somebody because of your incompetence, of your forgetfulness. And it goes right back to my point. I'm telling you, the votes are showing that we would be in government in 2025. The first thing that I intend to do is to ensure that the 300,000 plus people in the diaspora in Miami, New York City, Washington, London, Canada, that you have the capability to vote without having to come down to Trinidad and Tobago. Sometimes it's a backward way of thinking, or it gives the impression that politicians do not want citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to vote, because what is wrong with all citizens in New York City having the access to vote for your country? Why you must have to come back to Trinidad and Tobago? You could use the consulate, you can use the embassies, you could use the high commissions. These things have to change, and it is the same thing. Why are you still going with this ballot box when technology is there to make it efficient, effective, and less chance of corruption? These things, I promise all your listeners, it is going to change come 2025. So all of you listeners out there in New York City, the environs, stand by, just make sure you have an address in Trinidad and Tobago, because you will be eligible to vote after 2025.
Gary, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay,
all right, man. Yes.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, Aslam.
Yeah.
Gary's got the biggest motor mouth.
No, but listen. I think what it is that what we try to do, Tommy, is to hear different sides of a story. You know what I mean? And I think it's unfair that if we read your statement, right? We played an audio, then we called you to get verification with respect to the audio.
And right? there's been instances where Wade Hayes spoke up against the PNM. I'm sure if we go through, we'll see that many times he spoke up against them because he tries to be objective as he possibly can.
Right, but Tommy, I was being accused to, and if he goes to my page, you will see I'm one of the most critical people of the PNM. So you was totally inaccurate in that statement. You know what I mean? And
Gary means well, but sometimes he just pushes the envelope a little bit too far.
Well. I had to let him know though, because what it is that, we consider him. Every time we call him, he picks up the phone and he comes into the village. But
It's quite
I
good.
mean, yeah, I mean, but the idea about the 5-year-old and thing like that, that's kind of
You,
uncalled for.
you hear me tell him he has to be impeccable with his words?
Yeah, because we don't come and throw stuff on the wall and see what go stick. We come
I
with
mean,
the information,
I wasn't impeccable. I wasn't impeccable calling him the biggest motormouth, but
and like and like the question, if we Watchman name. I know the man name.
of course, Wade Hayes.
Right. Most of the people I talk to, if you have a nickname, I want to know your real name.
No,
You understand?
but Watchman has educated himself and is qualified,
Yeah,
and
he is, in order to get a job in the UN, it ain't easy.
he's qualified,
Yeah.
and he keeps abreast of things. It's not that he doesn't know, and he's guessing. He does his research apparently.
Yeah. Let me say welcome to Judy. Judy, welcome. We haven't seen you in a little bit. Judy says, one thing I must agree with Gigi about Philip Alexander, he overdoing it now. Just keep making videos, slandering others, be it true or false, he needs to stop. I'm beginning to believe Philip serious. I mean, you have a fetish for Gary, that's what they say. Victoria said, intervention from God answer, you're being punished. Oh God, well, yes. Nah, man, we have to have.
What is the crime?
Albert Montano. Eh?
What's the crime you've been punished for?
I don't know. Oh, Albert Montano, welcome to your new grandbaby, Albert. Daughter.
Congratulations,
Victoria
Albert.
says, Orchid, I'm sure Nahos is related to Faris. That's what I thought, somehow. I thought that.
One big happy family.
Yeah. Gigi says, Tommy, teach Gigi some eloquence, diplomacy, and decorum, please. Okay.
Gigi will go a lot further if he starts being a little bit more.
Passat says, that's right, Mr. Gary. Ever heard of doing the right thing for the wrong reason? Oh God, Victoria boy. Mean Jean says, please end the nonsense. Okay. All right. So the Mean Jean want to know, so why should we believe Gary? Okay. Victoria says, he thinks everybody's stupid. He thinks he's above anybody. Come on, let Gary go and sleep.
But he said something that put him in a light that wasn't so good. He said, remember Watchman accused him of giving several variations to the same person. So in other words, he admitted that he gave variations.
Yeah.
And Watchman saying is through the variations that people started.
Well, I asked him if
Arsenal.
I asked him if he gave Stuart Young any variation.
Stuart Young variation. He said it's a confidential matter. He cannot discuss.
So then he may have given variations. Then
he did. Right? He not answering and saying it's confidential implies that he did. So I mean, Watchman knows what he's saying when he said that he gave several variations to the same persons.
And then also not only that, but he gave MPs from the UNC to FULs. He didn't deny that it's confidential.
Because you're saying that the number of guns that were bought legally was by a fewer number of persons, because they were given so many variations, they were able to buy several guns.
Well, boy, it's never a dull day in Trinidad and Tobago. So Judy, welcome back. Judy, put closing comments in the chat. Victoria, Albert Montano, Albert, welcome. Congratulations on your grandchild.
Congratulations, Albert.
Yeah. Passad, if you're still there. Mean Gene, if you're still there. Nadia, if you're still there. Leon Adams, if you're still there. Watchman feel he's too bright, but he's very arrogant. Oh God, if you say that about Watchman, what you go say about Gigi? Huh?
Boy.
Oh God, oh, yeah. Yeah, all right. Capiza, if you're still there, whichever one of you, if you're still there, whether it's Captain Singh, Capiza, Arjun, whichever one of you is still there, Captain, put closing comments in the chat. Vonnie Roberts, if you're still there, Hailey, if you're still there, put closing comments in the chat. Yeah, Nathaniel Boris, if you're still there, Kevin Williams, if you're still there, Trinidad Margot, Akira, you come on your run, boy. Akira says she done with Anderson. Anderson, give me the Akira, give me the 4-1-1 on here, boy. She say you ain't passing no another money. You playing them all on playway. Anderson, boy. Richard Ramrup, if you're still there. So, folks, we're going to go for a quick station identification. We'll be right back after this short message. Stick and stick. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey.
We are back with you. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. You come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Well, Tommy, it was kind of surprising. I never thought that we would have get Gary to come in. But we end up getting him. And I sure Tommy, Judy say you're Mr. Diplomacy. Yeah. Tommy, but he wasn't impeccable with your words there, you know.
No, I wasn't. When I said he has a big motor mouth.
I tell you, man, be impeccable with your words. And
then I say that I turn around and against it.
Yeah, I should say, Tommy, be impeccable with your words. I try my best to it, Tommy. You know what I mean? I try my best. And when he call, what you call we 5-year-old children?
You have to hold back when Gary's on the.
Yeah. You know, you have to be diplomatic. You can't go tit for tat. You have to stay focused. Because if you don't stay focused, he could really get you off. He could get you off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Tilt you.
But I was just staying focused. I was just staying focused. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if something is in the news and somebody puts out something, it's that people that spout voice notes all the time, and all them radio stations in Trinidad be running them. There'll be people of no significance. Right? Yeah.
Watchman has a credibility factor.
Well, listen to this. Watchman knows people currently in the police service. And there's something between Watchman and Gary because Gary feel like Watchman shouldn't be putting out stuff about him. And Watchman puts it out. Watchman gets this information and put it out. And to me, what Gary needs to do is that if Watchman is putting out information is inaccurate, just fact check the information and say this information is accurate and put out your thing. You know, because that's why we have fact check in this country. Like, for example, Tommy, next show, I'm going to play a video I did with regards to the 26% of black people living below the poverty line. And a guy put out a video responding to that video. And he was saying that that video is inaccurate, that I put out. Right? And he didn't debunk any of the facts in the video. He just make up, point to other things that anybody could say then. And he was on Stephen Reese that played it. So it was on this show on Synergy. So we going far, Tommy. Tommy, we going far. They're paying attention.
All right. Okay.
They're paying attention. You understand? So. But Tommy, today, boy, Trinidad didn't even make it. Trinidad didn't make one final in the World Championships. They didn't make any finals. None.
So sad. So sad.
I mean, oh, you know something, Tommy? Just before we go, I wanted to get this here. Let me see if I get this in here. I want to show you some just before we go. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of Stuart Young Stoops. And Tommy, if Trinidad will only if we get a government will listen to people in the diaspora who have knowledge, and I want to big up myself, but when it comes to track and field, right? I could say that. Okay, here it is. I want to put this up because this is it here. Right? Here is this is in the Newsday. From preschool to Olympics, Jamaicans tell Trinidad and Tobago to rethink strategy. Right? I've said previously, Trinidad and Tobago needs to have a recreation department in all 41 constituencies across the country. Just like we have recreation departments here. And those recreation departments should have all different sports. Getting the kids in these communities, these kids who are sports-minded, of course, to play sports. Right? And it can have a significant impact. It's taking Jamaica to come and tell them they have to rethink this strategy. Look. They rather let outsiders come and tell them, right, about the things that they need to do. But say what, Tommy? Say what? So my closing comment is there are 3 solutions to every problem. Accept it, change it, or leave it. If you can't accept it, change it. If you can't change it, leave it. That's my quote for the day. From where I said, this is it. The clock on the wall said, that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. See you. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. Later. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yes, what I have to say is this is a quote from Star Wars Episode 1. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. Like I always say, you have to become the change you want to see. You, the man in the mirror. However, if you're looking at mirror and you don't like what you see, don't blame the mirror. Always remember, never look down on a person unless you give them a hand up. Like I always say before I go, I love you all, and I want you to be safe out there. We'll see you next WZYE time, which will be on Tuesday coming up. Till then, be safe.
Thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome.
So we have Mean Gene says, closing comments, the program was going well until Gary came in. Tommy says, Tommy, you're correct. Gigi's very insulting and needs to be put back in check. I love Motor Mouth. Judy, be impeccable with your words. So folks, that's it for the closing comment. We're gonna go out with our anthem song, Explainer. We just can't go anywhere. Good night, folks. Take care. See you.
slave night and day. For next to nothing pay, so they can't see the way. We don't enjoy equal facility. Like Pharaoh and company, brainwashing we